Is there an argument about whether pumice or walnut shell is the best abrasive in your hand cleaner? Not anymore. Fast Orange Premium brings the two abrasives together in one great heavy-duty hand cleaner that includes advanced skin protection. It's our best hand cleaner ever, and that's why we simply named it Premium. Fast Orange. We know a few things about cleaning hands.
Welcome to the streets of Long Beach. Look at that. It is a beautiful day here in Southern California. K&N is back for another year as the official air filter of Formula Drift.
The final touch to my dream build is a Sony Mobile ES system. Time to cruise with Sony Mobile ES. What we call the throwdown, the battle in Seattle. Are you with me? 1, 2, 3.
Let's go, boys.
The excitement is just palpable. You ready to rock? That guy's ready to shred. Oh no! Unleash the Kraken. And here we go. Let's send it!
We got the win, motherfucker. Let's go!
Oh no! Ryan Turk parks it! That is all she wrote. An amazing event. Chelsea DeNova gets the win. What a beautiful day for some drifting. That's right. We're here at round 6 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship Type S Throwdown, presented by AutoZone. Brother. Jared Deenda here with the teal toque, the blue beanie, the barbecue massacre killer, the diesel destroyer, Jacob Gettins.
Gosh,
Jacob,
so many nicknames.
I know. I mean, hey, you don't choose the nickname chooses you. So, all joking aside, Jacob Gettins here again. When he take off the beanie real quick.
Should I?
Do it. See, people recognize you.
No, I can't.
Thanks for joining us here. We are at round 6 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. We had a real abbreviated seating bracket yesterday. It was really compact. A few drivers not here, a few drivers broken. Ben Hobson, hope you're feeling better. Have not seen you since yesterday. Rung his bell, said decided to bow out. also hearing right now Forrest Wang, the Get Nuts Laboratory pilot, driver, lead scientist, the Yellow Speed Racing, bowing out of competition. His motor is not 100, so he said, I got to park it. So it's so unfortunate. Forrest Wang is out of competition. One of the most loved drivers here. Beautiful day. It's hot. It's a little warm for the P&W kids. Be sure to reapply that SPF. Mike Powers, what a confidence builder for him. What's your take?
Yeah, his driving just came into its own. He got very confident behind the wheel. You can see with the decisions. You can see, the way that he's going into angle. And once he figured out that initiation, that was it. That was the last thing, the key to his entire run. And then after that, just throwing an angle, holding it well. I mean, he's still got a bit more to go, but great runs.
Sorry, I'm just looking at Robert Thorne, how stoked we were yesterday.
I know.
Dude, Robert Thorne, if he does what he did yesterday in seating brackets, how settled he was on that bank was unbelievable. And then, I mean, again, we had Shanahan, Sorensen, Steven Olsen. He was right below us, and he was looking at that, and basically he jumped in and just set it and forget it, dude. No corrections to Robert Thorne, but that jumping into that third outside zone, all the drivers like, yo, that was so sick. It's going to be an exciting day, man. But 32, this is where we start things off. High noon, that's right. We are about to light the dynamite, baby. It's about to blow up.
Yeah, it's going to be great. This bracket pairing is so good. We got the battle of the Ryans there, Turk and Literal. That's going to be a tongue twister for us. But Dylan Hughes, Alec Robbins, kind of a throwback to the old Pro 2 days. Rome Charpentier and Trenton Beecham, a driver who's been struggling a bit, versus a driver that's really coming into his own. So many great battles in here. Ken Gucci, he's kind of becoming the dark horse. He's been sitting up there on the points. He's been doing well. He's been very consistent. But Rad Dan in practice has been crushing it. So just there's so many fun little storylines going on this weekend, and I'm ready for it.
Well said. LZ Thorne, Hiro Manoa making history, youngest ever driver to podium in Formula Drift, 14 years young. Great piece on him. Go take a look at Formula Drift Instagram or YouTube, all the channels. We're having a lot of fun this season. Brandon Sorensen, Diego Higa, you just pointed that out. Why is that?
Sorensen's just been on one all season, so is Higa. So it's just both young drivers, very aggressive, just taking a lot of risks in their driving. So it'll be, there might be some broken parts.
Yeah, there was a fan that was up here in the booth, and he says, dude, you know who I'm psyched for? Brandon Sorensen, that young man here. It wasn't Sebastian, I think it was Lumiere was his buddy. 6 of 8 rounds here. Here we are at round 6. James Dean with 3 wins. He's joined by his fellow countryman, Connor Shanahan. Welcome to the party. Connor wanted to go for Rookie of the Year, but Hiro is showing up in spades. Mind you, Connor did miss 1 round, but he is here for the remaining rounds. And Frederick Osbo, another 3-time champion who is in the hunt. I mean, Frederick Osbo is looming in the shadows, but James Dean has a 100-plus point lead. But guess what? There are 300 points still up in totality, right, with the rounds left, including this round.
Yeah, we were running a bunch of scenarios through, and basically right now James Dean's going to have a couple of really rough weekends. And that being said, earlier today I did see, just before we came into this, James Dean being towed off track. So adding to the plot a little bit here, we'll see. But I mean,
look at that, 118 points above Odie Bakshi's. Odie's always the bridesmaid, never the bride. There are a lot of, again, look, you have two of the 3-time champions. If James Dean, who's currently, again, 13 podiums, again, outside of FD, currently leading Drift Masters in Europe. I think they have 1 or 2 rounds left?
Yeah, I think 1 left, yeah.
Okay, and he's leading that. If he gets both of the championships, FD and wow, unbelievable. Lot of odds-on bets for Matt Field coming into the season. Kind of takes himself out. Look at that, yeah.
Big stacking here, 8, 9, 10. Dylan Hughes, Ken Gucci, Brandon Sorensen all tied with 238. So this middle pack is going to be so interesting to watch. A lot of drivers kind of rank their seasons whether or not they've made it into the top 10. There's a lot on the line, a lot of pride on the line to be in the top 10 at the end of the season. So it's very easy to focus on what's happening at the very top, but this middle points race is so incredibly tight between all these drivers. Even looking Ryan Turk at 15, right? Chris Forsberg 12. So a lot of these young drivers up into the top 10, and then some of these OG, some of these staples of the sport falling back a little bit. It's a battle of the new blood.
I think it's testimonial to what they have taught. It's the Padawan has become the Jedi.
Yes.
So that's where I'm at. So Old Dirty Panda is excited for this one. I don't know what he's having for lunch. Maybe some wontons. We'll see. I don't know exactly. Maybe some dim sum. We'll see. Yeah, right. I mean, thankfully he's not leading catering because Boyce does a way better job than Old Dirty Panda. Place your bets on not only what ODP is going to eat, but also on what driver is going to get victories here. So scan that QR code. Scan it. Do it right now. Again, it takes just a moment. Okay, I'll wait. Okay, slide, do that thing with your thumbs. Okay, there we go. Place your bets, because why not? You're watching it. Invest, both monetarily, emotionally, all of it. So, you know, it's in these guys' hands. They are the judge, jury, and the executioner. Robin Nishida, Brian Eggert, Reese Marin. I love Reese repping Columbia with the COL, baby. He's repping more East Coast. ECFU, right?
A lot of Philly in that boy, that's for sure.
A lot of Philly. There they are, taking a look. Robbie, smile for the camera, say hi. Brian Eggert, Reese Marin, those are our judges. We have a panel of 4, and they rotate through. So Vernon, not with us. Yep. He's alive. He's alive and well. He's just not here.
Not in the building.
Yeah, exactly. What a dynamic track. You got to bring all of your weapons. This isn't a gunfight. This isn't a paper cut. This is all of it. You know, you really have to bring, as I say, the Leatherman. Big, long initiation, real grippy, eats up your tires, and then you got to do it again. Lead and chase. Walk us through it.
This track is just a nightmare on tires. So big run up here, lots of time to get speed, a little bit of a decel before you get into that massive first outside zone. Then they're coming off of the bank into the second outside zone, and the judges want to see them carrying as much speed as possible, and then you can expect a slowdown before they get into outside zone 3, fading into a little bit of outside zone 3. It's kind of important to see there that fade of the red. Then the judges this morning having another driver's meeting to explain a bit better. They want them to swing out nice and wide out of 3, so that way when they come to inside clip 1, they got almost 90 degrees of angle, snap the car back around, and then fire all the way through outside zone 4.
That's a great point, because there's so many ways to approach what we have called it the power alley for over so many years, right? That, excuse me, outside zone 2 into 3, because you'll see some people like beeline from 2 to 3, because if they're off. Telling you right now, and this came to play, it showed its ugly head yesterday. Outside zone 1, transitioning into that power alley, a lot of people overshoot it and go into outside zone 2. And I do love that hanger that basically signifies where the outside zone 2 is. Judges' notes brought to you by K&N.
Quick initiation and angle and getting into that first outside zone and keep it on the wall. They want to be grinding that rear bumper all the way through that first outside zone. You want to fill all of outside zone 2 from start to finish. If you don't, it will set everything up incorrectly for the rest of the run. Transition nice and quickly. Use your angle to slow down for outside zone 3. They don't want to see big e-brake pulls. They don't want to see any checkup stuff like that. Should all be fluid. Maintain angle and fill outside zone 4. And then 3 tires off, that is your incomplete, which did come into play yesterday with Rudy Hansen right at the finish line.
Yeah.
So when you come through outside zone 4, you've got to get back on throttle and shoot the car out. If you start to go wide, you go 3 off, and then you hit that fun little unintentional jump there.
little whoop for the boop. All right, well, you know, Jacob and I, we're up here in the booth. Our girl on the ground, she is always getting the dirt. And speaking, unfortunately, she is with Forrest Wang, who has to bow to competition. Lorette Nickel is with us. Lorette, I know, again, you bring us some bad news with Forrest, but how are you doing? Lorette.
Hi, Jared. So excited to be here in Seattle. Forrest Wang, so excited to see you doing battle out here today. I was really looking forward to that. And it's heartbreak. What happened?
So yesterday, I had a bye run through the seating bracket because Hobson bowed out because of his accident. So anyways, I was going to go feel out the car after practice, and we ended up contacting the wall really hard. And last night, had to repair the car, new cross member, some new control arms. But we got that all sorted out. And then first run this morning, come back from a run with Gucci and lost oil pressure. So we're like looking into the engine. We drained the oil, and we got a bunch of bearing material in the oil. So we're not going to push that engine. Like, it's basically at its needs service. So if we run it any harder, we're gonna like do way more damage. So had to call it, and yeah, it's a bummer, but you know, we're still here hanging with the fans and signing autographs.
Yeah, so we have 2 rounds left. What's the plan?
I'm still gonna make a plan. I don't know exactly. My plan was to drive straight to Utah because that just made the most sense for us being down in Arizona. So now it's kind of like throwing a wrench in my plans. So we'll see if maybe prepare another car. I got that other S14 that I used before, so maybe get that one ready and bring that out for Utah.
All right, Forrest, thank you so much. And again, Forrest is down here signing autographs for the fans. Jared?
Unfortunately, Forrest Wang bowing out. Great attitude. It's great to see him back here. He has ravenous fans. You know, like you see a lot of Get Nuts shirts out there, and a lot of fans of his. So with him bowing out, James Dean, dude. Come on, man. You can't just hand it to him. I mean, come on. Like, I love James. Great dude. His Becky is here in the building. But James Dean, get a fast pass to the top 16. Chilling, grilling, thrilling. Let's lay out and listen to the AutoZone Mustang RTR Spec 5 FD. Send it. What a run there by James Dean. That's a good exercise for him. Kind of stretch the legs. I feel like, you know, I'm guilty of not stretching in the morning. I feel like he just stretched out right there. Did you stretch this morning?
I did stretch this morning.
Did you?
Yeah, I'm a big. I like stretching. Yeah.
No.
It keeps me ready for hockey in case I get a call up to the big leagues. You know, just in case the NHL calls. Yeah. Got to be ready.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm gonna tell you, phone ain't ringing, dog.
I know.
Here we are, taking a look at this. Simon Olsen, Jeff Jones, and here are the stats from the last 3 seasons, 21-24. Look at that, 55%, 49. Simon Olsen, and the overall wins 4 and 2. So what a Mr. Olsen.
Yeah.
What a weapon. But again, I'll tell you what, Jeff Jones is due, baby. Jeff Jones wants this. He is, again, the Evo AutoWorks Nissan 370Z. Look at Simon Olsen going across the nose of that Z. Jeff has to back up, but then look, guess what? I'm right there, Mr. Norway. Right on the side of his door into that big outside zone. Simon Olsen, really great pot. Oh, buddy. So, big, interesting hiccup there by Simon Olsen going way off course. We're going to have to roll that back and see. Good execution, good aggression, but that really could hurt him. 3 wheels off is an incomplete. You got to keep it where the rubber meets the road. Yes, there is road out there, but you can't go out there.
Yeah, there was an e-brake pull that happened near the end of the first outside zone that we got to watch out for, but Jeff Jones here doing a good job to get the car reeled back into that first outside zone. I think it was right about here, there. That little bit, that's all it took to push Simon off, and oh, so close. Whether he went 3 wheels off, I do like how he backed the car into 3, gets back on throttle through here, and Jeff Jones, knowing that there was a large mistake there from Simon, maybe pulled back a little bit, but he's got to be careful, because if he didn't, and then Jeff has a larger error later on, that could be it. So Simon showed everything that he needed to show to prove that he can be here and do these runs, but that one decision to make that e-brake pull could have been enough. And you can see the difference here between this camera angle and our overhead. Everything looks good, but you don't realize the depth of it. But right there, yeah, you see him starting to push wide. He gets back on throttle, push the car around. Does he go through? Oh my gosh, so close.
It's too off, but that's still. That hampers Jeff Jones' performance, and I was going to give Jeff his flowers metaphorically because he has the power. He's right there. We saw him kind of give him the distance, and then on that bank, you saw him just looming in the shadows, and that was so well done, and him following Simon really kind of emulsified how big a mistake that was by Simon. So now Jeff Jones got the clean air out front of the Evo AutoWorks Nissan 370Z. Simon Olsen in tow. Look at him. Again, good execution, good proximity. Like to maybe see him mimic that angle a little bit more. And Jeff, rock solid there in that the second outside zone. Now into the third, through the power alley, coming past that inside clip, about the second hash mark, now into that last outside zone. Simon knows he really needs to apply that pressure, maybe force an error by Jeff, but Jeff, unflappable. Jeff Jones from Southern California. This is a big move. If Simon goes out here this early with James Dean advancing, that's a problem for Mr. Olsen.
So first outside zone by Jeff, not super deep through the first part. Now Simon really pushing things, getting into the pocket, not as close as he could be. The second outside zone, obviously much better from Jeff Jones, but the third outside zone only gets about 1 wheel in. Now Simon doesn't get nearly deep enough through there either. Through the inside clip, everything looks nice, and now Simon dives in and tries to gain that proximity, but in doing so does not fulfill the 4th outside zone in the chase. Remember, the chase driver still needs to be able to mirror what the lead driver is doing. So if the lead driver makes it through a zone, the chase driver needs to make it through the zone. And that's something that's very, very important in the chase there. So Simon does a good job through these parts, but there's mistakes on both sides, and mistakes that honestly I wasn't expecting from either one of these drivers. So I like the aggression. I like how strong they came out of the gate there, but yeah.
That's funny, very uncharacteristic of Simon to come in that hot. He's very calculated, but I'll tell you what, the marriage of him and this car came to be last year, and it is just, it's again, peanut butter and jelly, man. It works so well for Simon.
Yeah, he's adapted so well to this field suspension. S14.9, I believe, is what they're calling it. But yeah, couple of big mistakes there, and I mean, I'd like both of them to clean it up either way that this goes, and we'll see what the judges have to say.
Talking to our judges and Ryan Sage, president of Formula Drift, the judges wanted to analyze that first run and focusing on that because here's Simon out front who did go 2 off. Jeff might have gone 3, but I believe, but I think they're deducing that Jeff went 3 off because he kind of let him out there.
Okay.
Yeah, Olsen led Jones exactly. So we're seeing that note there. Yeah, Simon went off and he kind of, hey, follow me. And
right.
He trust followed him, and he didn't catch him.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's so very unfortunate for Simon, obviously. And then Jeff Jones, like I said, he has to go where he goes. So I think it's, yep, this is exactly what I anticipated.
Wow.
Jeff Jones gets the win. Dr. Jones stepping up, taking out Simon Olsen, who's absolutely on a tear right now. Simon Olsen, you know, in the hunt for a championship, currently 5th in points. 174 points behind the leader. That's going to be a massive blow to a championship hunt.
Yeah.
But, you know, 2nd season in that car, I'll tell you what. Next year, you know, I'm just going to say it. I don't think Simon's in the hunt for a championship anymore, especially going out 32. Utah is such a crapshoot. And then, obviously, Irwindale, a lot of people, a lot of equity there. Talking about equity, Chris Forsberg, Jonathan Castro, these guys, you know, one-time Castro, his vehicle was operated by Forsberg. Look at that, 64%. Guess what his number is? 64.
Oh, look at that.
Overall match is 104. I mean, this is somebody who will eventually get into the Formula Drift Hall of Fame, alongside Reese Millen, Sam Hubinette, and just recently this year, Tanner Faust. Here we go. Chris the Force Forsberg, 3-time champion, going against Jonathan Castro, Dominican's finest. Here goes Chris Forsberg in that NOS energy drink. Nissan, Nismo Auto Parts, all new Z, and look at Castro. He is applying the pressure. Oh, look at that pulling wheel. That is unlike what I've seen from Forsberg before. That big, long suspension there, working all of it into that front clip. Nice job wrapping that thing like Rap Legends. And look at Castro. Yo, what a battle. What a battle. Stomp your feet, Seattle. Make some noise. Let them know you're here. Stomp your feet if you will.
Yeah, Castro really flexing again and showing how good he is in the chase. So Chris Forsberg does a good job through that first part of the outside zone, gets the car back in, and now Castro in the pocket, starts to surge ahead a little bit, anticipating when Chris is going to start to come off the bank, and does a good job through there. Chris through the 2nd and 3rd outside zone, filling all that. Castro could have been a little bit deeper through the 3rd. And then through the inside clip, both of them look stupendous, and that transition from Castro to time that out looks great. I mean,
love the proximity. Could be deeper in the outside zones for Castro.
And this is the thing. You're always going to have to give up something to gain something else, right? You're going to give up line to get the proximity, or you're going to give up angle to gain proximity. And proximity is not everything. If you give up everything else just to be close, it's not what the judges are looking for. So, yeah, I really like what Chris did out in the lead. I really like what Castro did in the chase. I mean, it's
good.
Ball's in Castro's court at this point. So.
Yeah. This is going to be the deal breaker. We will see. And as Castro will lead, Chris Forsberg chasing him down. All right. Hearing those Seattle fans cheer for their favorite driver. Castro is a Forsberg. Who's moving on to 16? Castro locked and loaded in that all-new Toyota GR86, all-new Z. Great-looking cars. Now, Castro way overshoots it, overcooks it, burns the meatloaf. Unfortunately, forced an error. To be honest, Forsberg doesn't even need to complete this run because Castro made that major mistake out front. Drift Alliance, OG, the wreath be rocking for the OG DA, and unfortunately, Castro took himself out there.
Yeah, I do want to make sure before we get too far ahead of ourselves that there wasn't some sort of contact that pushed him wide, because they were close. I mean, Chris was pushing real hard, but yeah, on first glance, I'm following the same line.
Yeah, no contact, dude.
Yeah,
no contact.
But I mean, look at Castro here. Everything looks really good. Could have put a bit more angle into it or got a little bit more proximity, but just showing how quick it is.
Oh yeah, there was a bump.
There's a little touch.
Okay, my bad.
Touch.
I digress.
Little boop.
Look at that. How did Canadian power?
I've had my Dr. Pepper today, sir. So
23 flavors.
That one little touch, I think what it's going to come down to now in the judges' eyes, it was a front wheel on front wheel. if you've watched drifting, if you've ever piloted a drift car, once that front wheel to front wheel contact happens, all bets are off. It's so slight. This is
does
where.
That, but does that, okay, yeah. Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah.
I mean, St. Louis was, just call it what it is, a little tumultuous post-event. There were some things that were brought, to the judges and this and that and the other thing, and always analyzing. Look at that. Is that negative camber on that back right?
It does. Well, so he's running up on the bank, so they may add positive camber just because of the size of the bank. But it's pretty noticeable. It's hard to tell with this camera angle if that's the case, but I mean, think of circle track cars or even NASCAR. You're going to run a staggered stance. That first outside zone is massive. You want to get good tire wear.
And talking about that equity of what Forsberg has here, is that significant enough? I just wish he didn't hit him.
I know. But
if he didn't hit him, was Castro already? I mean, he was on a heater.
Yeah. So contact. I mean, I think we can almost conclusively say contact was made. Was that contact something that would have affected Castro and pushed it out wider? Is what it's going to come down to.
I was so confident saying dude, there's no contact.
It happens.
Might have looked away, dude. It was, that angle, you don't even see it.
You start to see that Castro's car starts to add a little bit of angle, but it's hard to say because coming in like that, even if it's 1 or 2 miles an hour difference, that could be enough to bend a tie rod.
Right.
You bend that tie rod, and now, especially where he hit, that's going to turn the wheel in, and it's going to drive the car the wrong way. Then we get into Ackerman, and I'm not getting on.
Okay, relax there. You ain't no drift wizard like those guys are. Hey, stomp your feet, Seattle. Stomp your feet. Let me hear you. Stomp your feet. Get this place. Woo! All right, not too hard.
Yeah.
Not too hard. I don't know when this was built.
Scares me when you do this in Orlando.
I know. Orlando Speed World might rattle loose or something. All right, so this gets tough, man. Scrutinizing, analyzing, what is going on?
Yeah. That's really what the judges are going to be looking at here is kind of scrubbing back and forth and just seeing what the effect, how much contact was made and what the effect of that contact.
Love this. Let's institute this after every battle. Again, just two gentlemen in the sport. There's only one person I don't like. I just won't name names. I'm joking, but
here, man.
What's that?
I said I'm right here, man.
Oh, dude. Yeah. It rhymes with Jacob Jettins.
Yeah.
That
guy.
Yeah, that guy.
No, I do like this. I like the camaraderie.
I feel like that's a European thing. You see that in Ireland. You see that Drift Masters, and I think it's a cool customary thing that I'm here for. I know Castro's been he's been busy, man. He's been traveling a lot. He's been karting with his son, Chris Forsberg, about to get married to his lovely bride.
Yeah, it looks like the judges are still evaluating what the effect of that, what that contact is. I mean, it's so hard to tell from this angle, but yeah, wow. But this is what we're asking of these drivers, is to put things that close the entire time. So it looks like we've got a decision coming up here.
And there it is. Castro gets the win. Castro unanimously gets the win. Going to our judges, one of them are going to throw on that headset and wrap out with them. Looks like Reese Marin. Reese going to throw on the headset and going to have some words with him. Reese, again, it is unanimous. What did you guys deduce?
We came together and we looked at when Forsberg was chasing Castro. The way we looked at it is Forsberg came in with a little bit too much aggression, got into Castro a little bit. There was a bump there, and that pushed Castro off the track. And that's why we ended up going with giving it to Castro there. We reviewed it, we looked at it, and we can just look at the dynamic of the car. That little nudge pushed him just enough to get him off track, and that's why we went there. You can see right here, he comes in. He's trying to close that, gets a little close. Maybe not the best angle, to be honest with you. You can see it pushes off there. From the other angle, you can definitely see gets in a little bit too greedy, gives him that bump and it pushes him off. You can see right here, tap. You can immediately see the reaction of the car. And that's why all three of us went with Castro on this one.
And also, you saw a quick little wheel correction, going towards that outside zone, and I think that threw him off as well. So, wow. Big turn of events there for Chris Forsberg. So, Jonathan Castro gets the win, advancing on unanimously. The judges analyzing that. So, Mike Power, what a bummer. The Type S S15, we're going to be partying down the pits later. This is he has to bow out. Connor Shanahan, again, another Irish fast pass here at Red Bull BMW. Most recent winner at the King of Riga at Drift Masters. Congratulations to him. A champion in other series, but a rookie here in Formula Drift. Just an absolute weapon. Has never drifted banks before. You got a smile on your face. What's going on, Jacob?
As long as his car is working, it's so
tough to beat.
It's so tough to beat, and his transitions from inside clip to outside zone 4 is something I've just been watching all weekend. So it's just cool to see, and there are ways to beat him for sure. People have beaten him. It's not like he's unstoppable, but it's going to be tough.
All right. Well, Shanahan moves on, and we move on to Lorette Nickel. Lorette, what's cooking?
Well, Jeff was down here and he was talking to Simon Olsen. What was the conversation that you had with him?
You know, we've been battling each other 3 times this year already and 3 times last year. So we're good buds. And, you know, just it keeps happening and we're just excited for each other. You know, you hate to lose, but, you know, I got it this time. So, but he had a motor failure earlier in the year, so that one didn't count. So right now we're even.
Okay, and big moves for you going into top 16.
Yeah, man. I'm going against James Dean, you know. Been waiting a long time for this. I'm about to make a name for myself.
Well, we hope you do. Congratulations. We'll see him in top 16.
Thank you, Lorette. Here we go. Moving on. Matt Field and Stookie. Failure to launch. Matt Field in that Borla exhaust Corvette. Looking solid. Absolutely rock solid there for the Beast from the Bay. I mean, as long as he keeps course right here, he's going to have a major advantage. Stookie, again, that new car, I know you really admire that car, that build, the lightest car, as you said, technically here in the field, but undeniable. Matt Field put down a heater.
Yeah, Matt Field's been on one since the beginning of practice. His ability to get into the wall, set things up, and let the car float there and make minimal corrections. You see just small bits of wavering here and there, but ultimately very stable all the way through it. He also stays on throttle all the way from outside zone 1 through outside zone 2. Outside zone 3 looks great. Inside clip, I mean, Matt Field is definitely a one to watch for this entire round and looks great. Stookie, right off the bat, I mean, as Jared alluded to, a bit of a failure to launch. They did replace an engine last night. It becomes very difficult, too, because, you know, swapping engines in these cars has become very easy now. But there's
easy for who?
I mean, not me. I'm not going to do it. But I'm sure Casey at this point could do it with his eyes closed. Yeah.
No, it is very impressive. You know, we always gave accolades to Papadakis and their team, how quickly they can change an engine. That little 4-banger that Turk used to have, now he's gone 6-cylinder. Same engine that Frederick Osbo runs in his Supra. But again, these teams, efficiency is key. Here we go. Stookie out front. What approach does Matt Field have? Again, with Stookie in that chase position, having difficulty. So I think he's going to dial it back to about a 7.5. C grades, obviously, he's still passing grades. So, that second outside zone. Stookie flirting with the edge of that track. Now look at Matt Field here in that Borla exhaust. Heat wave visuals, Corvette. 777 comes up. All spades, there we go. So that gets it done there for Matt Field, the Beast from the Bay. You know, again, we can deduce that that's going to go Field's way.
Yeah, what's cool, and I kind of want to take this run as a bit of a teaching moment for what you'll hear us talk about left foot braking wall. What that is the driver's got his right foot on the gas and his left foot on the brake. You can see Stookie, great example of it here. You see that wheel locking up, and as he lets off, you can see how quickly the car dynamic changes, starts forward, moves around a lot. So it's because of how light Stookie's car is, you can see it very clearly through this. But I'm really happy with how Stookie was able to get the run back together. I like how he filled the zones. I mean, when you know you're behind like that, you can often dart around and do a lot of crazy stuff, but Stookie did keep it under control. So,
yeah, just not enough. That first run there, unfortunate for Stookie, is going to be the nail in the coffin for him. Matt Field gets the win. Matt Field advances on and gets the victory. A lot of eyeballs on him, you know, going for that championship this year here in the 2024 season. He currently sits in 6th place, 188 points behind James Dean. So that's a big battle.
When he's come so close and so many times, and often it's something strange that's happened in Irwindale, and I mean, he's so due for a championship. There's so many drivers right now that are just due, but ultimately there can only be one.
Game, respect, game, dude.
Yeah.
Speaking of game, the Battle of the Ryans. Ryan Turk, Ryan Literal. Ryan Turk in that Rain X Toyota GR Corolla. Again, switching motors this year from the 4-banger. That was a piloted campaign for multiple years, switching over to that the same motor that's in the Supra, 6-cylinder. And then the RB Army flag being waved high and wide by Ryan Literal in the Sunoco Sim Magic S15. All right, so again, that collab vehicle. Let's see what Ryan Turk has, that hot hatchback. Look at this thing. I love this stance. It just looks like a bullfrog. Oh, and no. Literal shuts it down. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Planet of the brakes. Unfortunately, looks like he shuts it down. And Turk does have to complete this lap because he is leading. And Ryan Literal crawling his way through that first outside zone. Turk, bit of a cakewalk for the New Hampshire-born Live Free or Die. Shout out to Shannon and Roman. I know they're watching at home. Got those new vents.
There's a lot of speed holes in there, so looks like it was a clean start. Yeah, so not sure what happened there with Mr. Literal, but Ryan Turk in front, yeah, just starts to take away at that point. But Ryan does a great job here through the first outside zone. Takes a little bit to really get the smoke coming out of the car, which can be an indicator of throttle, but either way, he does a really good job through the first, second, and third outside zone, filling all of them. Inside clip, everything nice and tight. You can see how he uses the momentum of the car to get around, how smooth and fluid this run looks. Ryan Turk, back on form.
Textbook.
Yeah, very, very good. And here's the thing too, even if your competitor has an issue like this, you still need to put down a heater, because what happens if, Turk has an issue at the line and Literal leaves him behind.
The plot, we saw in that last episode of Senate, the plot thickens. I say that a lot, but and it can happen.
Yeah. We've seen it.
Don't know what happened to Literal. He's back on the line, so he's ready to go. Oh, no, or is he? Oh, no. So there. So restart. Clean start. That is a clean start. Literal gremlins. Don't feed them after midnight. Don't get them wet. Unfortunately, they multiply. We don't die, we multiply. And unfortunately for Ryan Literal, that's going to be a wrap for his Sunoco Sim Magic S15. Great looking car, but got to throw it sideways, brother. And Ryan Turk will be getting the victory here. Man, Ryan Turk and Matt Field will be going against each other. That's going to be a banger in 16.
Yeah, 16 is shaping up to be pretty crazy.
All right, we'll make it official. You know what's going to happen here. Slide him left. Well, Ryan won, but it's Ryan Turk that gets the victory here in the Rain X Toyota GR Corolla. Throw it down to Lorette Nickel, who's with Jonathan Castro.
Well, incredible movement with you and Chris Forsberg outside zone 1. You guys were so fast. What do you think this is that you guys are going there?
Well, according to Kevin, we're going 85. So we are going it feels a little faster, to be honest. On the wall, pin it, 100%. Trying to chase someone is in the front is like, it's for sure, but it's fun. It's extremely fun.
And then you guys are slowing right down to outside zone 2, so it must be really challenging.
Yeah, you come in with this high speed moment, and then you have to slow down and allow the car to adjust, not make. I believe it's one of the challenges part of the track. You have to know where you're going, especially if you're chasing. You have to chase someone doing that, and you have to adjust. So I believe that's the tough part of this track.
What's not tough is we're going to see top 16 guys.
Thank you so much, Lorette. Some great insight there from Jonathan Castro. Hey, take a look at the recap for Season 1 of Toyota's latest high-octane original anime series called Grip, which combines heart-pounding action, adrenaline-fueled races, and a battle between the human spirit and computer control. Check out toyota.com/grip to watch all episodes, and stay tuned for more upcoming Grip content. Here it is, Grip.
It's an invitation from Dr. Synth.
I propose we settle this once and for all. Let's see how Team Grip does against a racing model, the Synth Supreme.
That Synth Supreme is mine.
No way. This race is mine.
If they want to beat the Synth Supreme, they have a lot to learn.
All right, we are back on the start line. Odie Bakshish, Derek Madison. I got to tell you, I love D-Mads, but this is an uphill battle, man, because it's a new car, it's a new build, it's a new day, it's a new, I don't know where I'm going with that. Odi Bakshis has a proven chassis. He is, I mean, a real championship contender. You know, he's currently second in points. He doesn't feel sorry for D-Mads. He's like, dude, I'm going to get this. You know, James is already in 16. Here we go. Odi Bakshis, Derek Madison. Odi Bakshis that feels suspension, S15. Boom. Look at, there's that left foot brake. Look at that right front wheel was just locked, lifted, and loaded. D-Mads getting lost in the smoke, buried in the smoke. The GT radial into that inside clip. Takes that shallow line, but I'll tell you what, Odi Bakshis, this is showing you how big of a veteran and a real championship contender Odi Bakshis is. Make some noise for him. Odi Bakshis and Derek Madison.
Yeah, Derek let me know a little bit before competition. He is down on horsepower by around 200, and I do think it shows here. So Derek doing everything he can just in the chase to stay within the battle. Now Odi Bakshis really, as Jared said, pushing things, using that left foot braking, really dynamic suspension, kind of bouncing around. Doesn't get all the way to outside zone 2. Outside zone 3 looks great though, and then out that big wide swing like we talked about into the inner clip. It starts to push it out towards the wall, and the wall this year a little bit different. They've added a bit more of an arc, so we've said it a few times this year, but more of a C, less of an A. You do a nice swoop through instead of a jagged corner. But yeah, Derek, I mean, down on horsepower. Odi's got to be aware of that, and we'll see how this starts to shape up.
More of a C, less than an A?
Yeah, like a C shape instead of an A. Like
oh, I thought Canadians' favorite letter was A.
Oh, jeez. Walk right into that one.
Derek Madison will lead. Odi Bakshis will give chase. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I set you up for that.
Hold on. Pinata. Boom.
Yeah.
Here comes all the candy. It's so sweet. Derek Madison will lead. Odi Bakshis giving chase. You said he's down in horsepower. Oh, and we are. Look at this. You know, Odi Bakshis is calling a competition timeout.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow, that's a plot twist. Definitely M. Night Shyamalan called, and he wants his twist back. But look at that.
Well, this is why it's so important too. I mean, Derek putting down that lap. You know, he still tried to stay in the battle. He struggled for sure, but this is why it's important, because things like this happen. These cars are so
wound up.
Yeah, they're so wound up that things break constantly. That's just, it's part of the sport.
And the track is so unforgiving. I'll tell you what, and we do have VIP experience where a lot of the fans will go walk the course. It's cool. It's a cool all-access pass. And so if you're ever one to attend an event, we have access where the pits are obviously complimentary. You get to walk and high fives and handshakes. But walking this course, I'll tell you what, you don't get an idea of how big, one, it is, two, how abrasive this asphalt is on that bank, and then you got to do 2 runs. So Odi Bakshis calls his fast orange competition timeout. This is a 5-minute allotment for those fans that are new to the sport. This is again, competition timeout, and 5 minutes once he gets hands on the vehicle. A rising to stardom, the 20-year-old Brandon Sorensen. His sister competes in Pro Spec. She made history by the first ever female to podium in Formula Drift just a couple rounds ago. And Diego Higa, who is really finding the sweet spot with this vehicle. I think he's still got more in the tank, metaphorically, but obviously an absolute legend. Brazil blows it up. There's, we got here, looking at Keith, what is he, Kevin? Keith. Kevin Wells. Kevin Wells there looking on. And again, once they get hands on the car, the 5-minute clock will tick down, but right now on the start line. And you got to think, Odi has an advantage. This is, you wonder what's going on. Because he had a good run. He's got the advantage, but every run counts. And something so simple could really absolutely grenade your opportunity to advance on. Here we go, Brandon Sorensen out front, and Diego Higa in the chase position. Brandon Sorensen, the United Air Force BMW, locked and loaded, great angle from him. Diego, you can see gaining that proximity, like I say, compromising, the angle, but the proximity is really tight by Diego Higa into the outside zone 3. Brandon is feeling all of it. Diego surges forward, have a difficult time there getting back into that pocket outside zone 3, but Brandon out front, a little contact there, blowing that front bumper off. Saw him just dive in on Sorensen. Look at the cockpit, absolutely filled with smoke. Wow.
Yeah, there's some really, really cool spots in this run. So look at how quickly Brandon Sorensen gets the wall. He actually grabs onto the wall a little bit there, has to make some corrections, and then right near the end, he just snaps it out right there. Love that, adding the angle in so he can set himself up for 2. Does a nice floaty job through 3, then back on throttle to that inside clip. Love the amount of angle he's able to push all the way through that section. And Higa, I mean, he's doing what he can to try and answer it, but Sorensen's thrown down a very stylish, very aggressive, and a super impactful run there. As we swap over to take a look at what's going on with Odi Bakshi's car. Underneath, really, really hard to tell what they might be looking at right
wet
now.
rack, soaking wet.
See,
Is it soaking wet?
yeah, I'm seeing a line coming out. Could be a fuel line. Oh no, that's the welder that's coming out. Oh, that's never good.
No. That is not a good sign. Here we are.
Real tough to say at this point, but
Okay.
anytime there's a welder, it's not a great time.
Not ideal. All right, so Diego Higa will now lead. Sans that front bumper. Just a little contact. Man, losing parts all over. They touched right towards the end. Here we are looking at Odi Bakshi's.
So judges right now are trying to see what kind of contact might have been made between Higa and Sorensen while we take a look at this fast orange competition timeout of Odi Bakshi's. And we do have the welder going.
A welder is out. How did he feel that?
I'm just curious what it is that they're actually welding together based on the location of the car.
Maybe lost power, broke a like flange or something. I don't know.
Could be, yeah. So it looks like
Sorensen and Higa had contact.
yeah. So they will be given some time just to take a look at their
Yeah.
cars to make sure, and then they can kind of make the call from there if they need
It's
to.
a courtesy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the contact here. It's right at the end when Higa dives in that bumper. So no contact there. It's right at the end. So this is basically contact, and what we do is give them a courtesy competition timeout. No 5-minute allotment. Boom.
Right there. Yeah. So when Sorensen's car is at angle, so the wheels are turned super far to one direction, and that contact from Higa can kind of stress the components that are there and push them. It's like if you open a door too far, like you open a door and then you push a little bit harder and you crack the hinges. That's the kind of thing that could happen with this. I mean, control arms and tie rods and stuff.
Have you seen when those girls open their door in a car wash?
No.
It's amazing.
Oh my God.
Roll the tape. Yeah, they're in a car wash. They open the door and then it just
takes the door off.
Oh,
it's like
amazing.
Tommy Boy. Remember when Tommy backs the car up and it catches it? Like,
your
what happened?
your head's a thin candy shell,
Oh,
Jacob.
Might be one of my favorite movies of all time.
Really?
Oh,
Not
watch
so
it
much
many
here,
times
right
as a kid.
there.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's your favorite Yankee? Who's your favorite little rascal? Alfalfa or Spanky? When we come back, we're going to be spanking up this track one more time. Round 6 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Jared Deanna, Jacob Guns, Lorette Nickel, and all these party goers. Send it.
Is there an argument about whether pumice or walnut shell is the best abrasive in your hand cleaner? Not anymore. Fast Orange Premium brings the two abrasives together in one great heavy-duty hand cleaner that includes advanced skin protection. It's our best hand cleaner ever, and that's why we simply named it Premium. Fast Orange. We know a few things about cleaning hands.
Welcome to the streets of Long Beach. Look at that. It is a beautiful day here in Southern California.
K&N is back for another year as the official air filter of Formula Drift.
The final touch to my dream build is a Sony Mobile ES system. a cruise with Sony Mobile ES.
Welcome back to Evergreen Speedway. The action continues here for our Top 32. Top 32 brought to you by Rockstar Energy Drink. Rockstar Energy, the official energy drink of Formula Drift. So, Odi Bakshis, we got an update there, Jacob. What happened?
It looks like his exhaust broke, so at some point in time, the exhaust had come down, probably started grinding. You heard a loud, rattling, banging, scraping, called the 5. Once you've committed to your 5, you need to take it.
Done.
So, yeah, welder was out, quick fix,
and
turn for nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And he said if he knew it was an exhaust, he wouldn't have called it. We were getting updates here, via pits and people. So, but I'll tell you what, he does have an advantage here. If you can recall, Derek Madison in chase position was back there quite a bit, but now Odi Bakshi's feeling confident. Look at Derek Madison. Now he is on one. Coming out into a quick little correction there. Just massaging the car in the outside zone 2. The car was really gripped up yesterday, and it looks like it not as gripped up, but still hitting the outside zone. Now into outside zone 4. And I think, a good effort there by Derek Madison, but unfortunately he did have the lack of the show in that chase position on the first run.
Yeah, Derek is definitely a never give up kind of person. The whole team is, and being down on power, I know they struggled to get crew out. There were some things going on. So it's just everything stacked up against him, but love to see the effort he's still putting in, still driving as hard as he possibly can. Trying to get into the zones, but it really shows you the difference when you're down a few hundred horsepower of how difficult these cars are to drive. So that, 1,000 horsepower now, that's kind of the minimum. There are definitely drivers who can make it work with less, but you see just the difference between it. Odi Bakshi's putting on a master class here of how to chase a car that's not nearly as fast as yours. Gives him a bit of distance, tries to anticipate where Derek might go or may not go, and gets the car into a safe spot that still shows an active chase. So expert job from Odi.
Yep.
And Derek, just never say die.
Never say
die, Madison.
He's never going to give you up. He's never going to let you down.
No.
Never going to turn around. Did we get Derek rolled?
I think we did.
Okay.
I think we got Derek rolled.
Yeah.
It's bound to happen one day.
He's not the Mata son. He's the Mata daughter. Odi Bakshis gets the win. There it is. It is unanimous. Unfortunately, Derek Madison, the Fuel Lab S chassis, is knocked out. Odi Bakshis utilized the competition timeout. That might play a role. There's a lot of competition left, and to not have that card in your back pocket is definitely going to play a role. I'm telling you right now. Just quote me on that.
Yeah.
Odi Bakshis, here we are. This is how the Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32 is shaping up. Those drivers that you see there advancing on. And here we go on to Federico Sharifo, led by 14 years old Hiro Manoa, who got, again, made history at our last round of competition in St. Louis. Youngest driver ever to podium in Formula Drift history. Federico doesn't care. It could be his dad. He's like, whatever, bro. Watch this Ferrari in your rearview mirror. Hiro Manoa, Juku Racing, Jerry Yang Racing, 86. Look at Hiro. Locked in, oh my gosh, like Velcro. Hook and loop closure, sorry, Velcro's a trademark name. Now in that second outside zone. Federico Sharifo transitions, comes out of the smoke, dives in aggressively, takes a little bit shallower of a line, and now into that last outside zone. Hiro Manoa, boom, he is right there on the wall, that back bumper, nearly scraping it, maybe even scraping it, literally.
I think so. It did look like he got right up onto the wall, and I wouldn't be shocked with the amount of aggression that this very mild-mannered driver drives with. Federico Sharifo struggling a little bit to get the initiation timed at the right time, but we do see some wavering there from Manoa, a little bit of hesitation, just trying to get the car into the full first outside zone. You see that wild dive there from Federico Sharifo, cutting a bunch of the line and missing the outside zone 3. And then Manoa, through the rest of this run, this slower, smoother, and slower section really comes into his own here. this big bank, the amount of speed was the part that I figured he'd struggle with the most. It did seem that way, although it was still a really good first outside zone. Just you know, if you're gonna play with some of the big dogs out here, you got to clean that part up. Federico Sharifo just missing the launch there in the beginning just meant that he had to play catch up to the rest of the run. So.
Just looking at social here, Ryan Littoral is saying he lost power. He lost electrical power down the straight on both runs. So an update there from Ryan Littoral and outcome of his battle. Here we go, Federico Sharifo, Hiro Manoa, the Penzo Ferrari, a Fiorella, coming down the chute, that initiation point. Hiro Manoa, calculated. Let's see what Fetty's got on that wall, Fetty wall, not Fetty Wap, into that second outside zone, into that power. Look at Hiro Manoa. Absolutely bed bath and beyond in the smoke, bathing in it like a bath bomb. Now in that last outside zone, exfoliating the skin of the tires into that last. Look at that. The crowd explodes, loving it. Wait, who are they more electrified for? Fetty?
I think Manoa is very quickly becoming a fan favorite and a crowd favorite, especially here in Seattle. Let's take a look here. Federico Sharifo does a good job to get the car to angle, and now Manoa is starting to pull him in, but Federico does fill that first outside zone quite well. Very smooth line coming off the bank. Manoa dives in. Now Fetty could have been deeper in the second outside zone and the third outside zone. Manoa doing a good job through those two parts. Great inside clip from both drivers as we transition out to 4. Fetty trying to get as much of that gigantic Ferrari. I can't understate this enough. That car is massive. If you get a chance, once we're in the break, go take a look at just how big this car is.
It definitely dwarfs that 86.
So large. But yeah, I mean, both drivers cleaned up a lot on that second run.
Yeah, I think Manoa really highlighted, you know, unfortunately Fetty did not hit those outside zones, and the crowd erupts for Hiro Manoa, the Japanese rising star. What a ledge. Again, just you know, he's progressing, his driving, his English, like it's just all of it. Yeah. He's, you know, there's a beautiful video that we showed yesterday. We might have an opportunity to show it, but if not, go to Formula Drift's YouTube page, check it out. As here's the second half of this battle. This is Sorensen and Higa. This does bring up a point. The competition timeout was not utilized. It's a courtesy. Basically, there was not a incomplete. So what we do is, because there was contact without an incomplete, we say, hey, inspect the cars, take a look at it. That's exactly what we did. We utilized that and said, hey, take a look. There might be some damage, but again, not an incomplete and not utilizing the fast orange competition timeout. So here's the second half of this battle. Diego Higa will be out front. Brandon Sorensen chasing him down. Brazilian star initiates. Diego Higa. Street Hunters, missing that front bumper. Oh, look at Brandon. I'm telling you, man, Brandon, talk about these young up-and-coming drivers. Look at Higa pulling tire. Brandon Sorensen comes out of that smoke. He does come up shallow, but Higa's putting the car in all the right places. Oh, buddy. Oh, my gosh, look at him massage. He blows out that back bumper, exploding the fenders there. All right, I definitely think we're going to be seeing a BC Racing side-by-side.
Yeah, the pass-through transition from Sorensen is just so cool to see. But let's take a look here. Higa out front does a really good job through that first outside zone. Looks like he's struggling to keep the car under control. Has to throw a bit more angle in there. We see a couple little dives there. Comes out of the second outside zone a little bit early. Comes out of the third outside zone a bit early. And now Sorensen on a much tighter line. And that pass-through transition was just so neat. Now, we are looking for the drivers to mirror the lead car. So as much as it is cool, it may not be the most correct way to go about it, but it does look sick. So, Jared's. It seems like Jared has been fed Canadian snacks.
I got Canadian snacks.
I think there's a few Canadians in this building, if I'm not mistaken.
Are there a couple?
Oh, I think I hear them.
Oh,
there they are.
They all just said sorry.
Yeah, they did.
It was a uniform sorry.
Yeah. Sorry for being so loud.
Yep, I'm crushing some chips, brother. Thank you. Here it is, BC Racing side-by-side. Again, we had a little bit of battles in between, so take a look at it again.
It's a great way to refresh our memory. So first outside zone, it looks like Sorensen got in a touch earlier, and then in a chase, we do see both drivers having to make some corrections. We flip back and forth, trying to watch both at the same time. Second outside zone's in the lead, pretty similar. It looks like Higa could have been deeper in 3 on his lead. Inside clips look great, and then our fourth outside zone in the lead, pretty similar. So it really comes down to the chase for this one. Which driver was able to mirror the other driver better, be able to keep everything tidy. So it is going to be tight between both these drivers. So their leads, phenomenal. Chases in both of them need a little bit more work.
Yep. Yeah, tighten it up. You could see Reese pondering. We got the international symbol for drift.
Yes, the two hands side by side. Yeah.
Also, he's pondering what Colombian food he's going to eat later.
Empanadas.
Big empanada fan. Here we go. Slide him left for Sorensen, right for Higa. Sorensen gets 1 vote, 2 votes. And Brandon Sorensen gets the victory, advancing on. Throw it down to Lorette Nickel. Lorette with the Beast of the Bay. Rawr.
Well, Matt has had a really eventful Seattle already. He got collected into the wall with Mike Power in practice, and then Stuckey, unfortunately, was having engine issues. So how does that shape your strategy?
That's the thing. You almost don't have a strategy other than do the best lead run you can. Fortunately, I led first, so after that, you kind of figure it out. Stuckey put together a pair of great runs, which he wasn't able to do in practice, so I'm glad we were able to have a solid battle because I love this place. This track is like no other.
Love that. And what are some of the reasons?
This track is like a coliseum. You enter into the coliseum, you initiate on the high line of the wall, you keep your foot to the floor, and there's nothing better sounding than a V8 with the Borla exhaust singing on the top of the wall. So for me, it's all about the sounds and about the crowd. So I'm glad you guys were able to watch and enjoy the rest of Top 32.
We love Happy Matt Field, and we'll see him in Top 16, guys.
All right, well, Matt Field entering the Coliseum. Here we are in a world. We are halfway through our Rockstar energy drink. Top 32. Up next, who are we looking at? We got the Pride of Paducah versus Nick Novak. Talking about Jonathan Hurst and Mr. Novak. Look at this photograph. Big Nickelback fan right here. Nickelback.
That's what I've been told.
Nickelback.
Nickelback.
Baby, come back. You can blame drift on me. And then the Pride of Paducah, dude. That Cadillac. Look at the overall winning percentage. Just barely, and Hurst has got Novak every time. Novak is due. Oh boy, here we go. Out front, that Cadillac, Mr. Cool, keeping it cool. Got the holographic. Oh, right off, wow. Just right off the jump, just exploding that front bumper. Novak, he says, look, you've got me every time, not this time. But Jonathan Hurst keeps his cool, literally, and Novak shuts her down in the power alley. Struggle bus population Novak right now, unfortunately, having some issues and pulling through. I mean, exciting. Yeah. I mean, I didn't know 4th of July was here in August. There were fireworks, man.
Those taillights are not cheap on that XLR, so look at that. Wow, right off the bat, just dives in on Hurst. So Hurst does a good job to keep in it, though. Foot to the floor all the way through the first outside zone. Needs to be way deeper through that zone through the rest of these battles. And Novak just darting in. Takes the wall, takes a hit full on to the side of the car, gets back in throttle, gets back on it. This is what we want to see. Takes the licking, keeps on ticking. Jonathan Hurst out front, though, not fazed by any of it. Look at that. I'll tell you right now, those XLR taillights, not easy to find. And
yeah, but he's printing them.
Well, he has to. The rest of them are gone. He's eaten through them already this season.
I mean, I think this is the last XLR. This is like a dinosaur. We're looking at a dodo bird.
Yeah. Almost extinct car. But
no, it's good. I mean, like we said, statistically, these guys have battled 3 times. Jonathan Hurst has gotten every time. Novak says, "Baby, come back."
Yeah.
He's gonna head to the pits.
He's gonna need a 5 for that.
Yep.
I mean, he took a real hard hit on the passenger side of that car. Oh man.
All right, clean up on aisle 1. Oh, the fridge, keeping it cool. There he is. Look at that guy. Look at that weapon of mass destruction.
Yeah, the mayor.
The fridge. All right. So, James Dean leads the pack, 3-time champion, and he currently leads by over 100 points. Let's get some insight here with James the Machine Dean.
GT Radio. Experience ultra high performance.
On race day, when you want to show everyone out there who's the best,
Here we go, Frederick Osborne.
you really need to be focused. I tell myself, I got this. I'm the best there is.
The star is Frederick Osborne.
If your answer to the summer heat is let it rain, we're looking for you. Join us at Toyota Racing.
Is this it?
This is it!
Here we are back up in the booth. Travis Reeder joining us up here. Reeder, the Walmart greeter up here, high-fiving us and handshakes. You got to pull the door. Yeah, there we go. Be smart on the door, dude. You got to pull it. Don't
Great driver, not so good with doors. Great hitting doors, not good at opening them.
Everybody, Travis, round of applause for Travis Reeder, everybody. Everybody loves Travis Reeder. That's right. Look at Travis, you're loved. He might not be driving, doesn't know what to do with his hands.
Yeah.
I think him and Austin, a Failure Podcast, are going to, both you and I were on an episode, and that's going to come out soon, which I'm super excited, absolutely honored to divulge and cry a little bit. You know, it's cool. You didn't cry.
I came very close. I think they cut the camera just as I started to leak a little.
You're so calloused.
I know, right?
Emotions, dude. Feel it. You're a dad. You don't cry?
I do cry, just privately.
Okay. All right. I'll just leave that one. I'll leave that one alone. All right, here we go. Back to the action. Speaking of another P&W ledge, Dylan the Dozer Hughes. That's right. This is his home track. He's going against Alec Robbins. Look at places erupting. A lot of eyeballs on D. Hughes, man. Again, the Royal Purple O'Reilly Auto Parts BMW, that Reap Weapons, weapon of mass destruction, Alec Robbins, Nissan 350Z into that first outside zone. He knows his track probably better than anybody else out here, and Dylan Hughes said it and forget it. That Ford Star wheelie seat coming to a halt, that left foot brake through the power alley, outside zone 3. Great angle by Dylan Hughes. I'll tell you what, Alec Robbins is in tow. Came out of angle a little bit on that transition from 3 to inside, and now outside zone 4. Look at Dylan is just confident.
Yeah.
Like he's like, like he just like.
It's like driving home from work.
Right, dude.
Yeah. Love the way he gets an angle. I really like how Alec Robbins starts to mirror it and then falls back a little bit through here, but Dylan just super stable through that whole section. Lots of left foot brake to keep the car settled. Transitions through here, grabs another gear through outside zone 3. Inside clip has been crushing that all day. And then outside zone 4, everything looks nice and tidy. So Alec Robbins did keep a really good line behind him. I mean, you can see he tried to almost add more angle there, but does do a good job keeping the line for the majority of this run. So that first outside zone, though, I mean, you make one small mistake, it's so hard to get back into the pocket. But Robbins' chase was good. It's just a little bit darty here and there, and what it's going to come down to now is Robbins needs to lay down an absolute heater and hope that Dylan Hughes
force
does
a
something
mistake.
a little crazy.
Yeah, and that it has happened.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and that's something that you just take for granted, where it's like, oh, I know this course, I got this, and then just boom, just shows their ugly head. Here we go, Alec Robbins out front. Dylan Hughes in the chase position. A little late there by Dylan Hughes. I think he gave him too much respect.
Yeah.
Need to look at that, and look at this. Dylan Hughes.
Oh.
Again, this is exactly what we talked about. What happened to Hughes? Alec Robbins does need to continue on. I think we're going to have to take a look. I think Alec, again, let him run through the course. We're obviously going to show you a replay. The only variable that I will say is, when did Robbins initiate? Did that impede onto Dylan Hughes and his lack of launching and drifting? You saw him go through the rest of the course, but driving straight. Does he have an issue? What happened here?
Yeah.
This is exactly what we just talked about.
Yeah, this is it. This is drifting at its finest. I mean, once you think you know what's going to happen, something else. So Robbins does have the right of way. Initiates before the 3-cone. Dylan Hughes just something, lack of power. I mean, I'm going to say a mechanical of some kind. I have no idea what it could be, but yeah, and then Alec Robbins through the rest of this run, outside zone 2 and 3 both look good. He did a great job in seeding, right back to where we saw him, you know, over the last couple of years, and outside zone 4. So I don't know if we can see anything. There's something popped out the back of the car. It's like he's missing half an engine or something.
That was just very uncharacteristic. I mean, we just saw a really good dominant lead run there, and in the chase position just did not show up, and that is a huge blow. I mean, he's the hometown hero. A lot of people cheering him on, and unfortunately, I think that's going to be it for Dylan Hughes. What an upset here, but Alec Robbins moves on and advances on the Reap Weapons vehicle, and man, that's a shock to the system. But speaking of shock, Shanahan shaking things up. He is with Lorette Nickel.
A little bit of the shock might be the weather here in Seattle. His first time here on the bank. And you said you barely made it out there because you're dealing with some electrical gremlins. What's happening?
Yeah, we've been struggling to be honest, since the start of yesterday. We've had a lot of problems, just trying to chase our tail a little bit, trying to fix everything. Yeah, so not many laps. I'm not 100% confident. We laid down some good laps this morning, which kind of got the confidence going a little bit. So yeah, the boy run was, obviously I hate winning that way, but you know, I could kind of try focus a little bit and try put down something solid. We're changing setup, and you know, I haven't had enough laps to really get the max out of the track, I guess. So it's a little bit frustrating when I'm back and forward fighting problems, but we're here, we're in the top 16, we'll try stay calm.
Connor, thanks, best of luck.
Connor Shanahan, a busy man, the king of Riga, winning at Drift Masters just last weekend. Congratulations to him. James Dean getting second, taking the lead. And there he is, signing autographs for the fans. What a great addition to the Formula Drift paddock. Just a fun-loving dude, really talented, him and his brother. And here we go back to the line, and we got an update. Nick Novak out, unable to fix his vehicle in that Novak Racing Kenda Tires BMW. So this is forcing a victory for Mr. Cool. Look at this guy. Oh, man. Lay back and listen. Cadillac XLO. It'll work. 1 minute. Rat-a-tat-tat, looking like a Claire's Boutique, like some jewelry or something. I'm here for the Prism.
It's a lot
Mr.
of sparkle.
Cool.
A lot of sparkle.
Dude, that guy wins all the Flair Awards.
Yeah.
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 Pride
Can't
of
miss
Paducah.
that car. Whether
No.
you know, if you can't see, you can't hear, you know, still know the car's coming.
Absolutely. Mr. Cool, Prism, hologram. I mean, gem, truly outrageous. He looks great. All right, so we are more than halfway through as Taylor Hull and Kazuya Taguchi. Taylor Hull, originally from Teja, just a proud Georgian.
Yeah.
Proud Georgian. His wife cheering him on, a spotter in his head. Kazuya Taguchi, again, just has really stepped up tremendously. The Up Garage, ISR performance, Jerry Yang Racing, 86. Let's see what Taylor Hull's got. This Comp Cam's Corvette. It's all-American versus all-Japanese, right? This is the battle right here. The battle in Seattle. Here we go. Taylor Hull initiates that Comp Cam's Corvette. Look at that. The Wrangler butt's driving me nuts. Talking about that Wrangler butt, he puts it right up on that wall. Hell yeah, brother. Coming now into that second outside zone. Taps it a little bit with that back left. Now tight on the inside clip, taps it. Kazuya Taguchi not very aggressive in the chase position. Doesn't seem like he is that confident. You know, we talked about how confident Dylan Hughes was, and again, what a bummer getting knocked out. But again, yeah, take a look at it again.
Yeah, so Taylor Hall gets to angle quite quickly, and then Kazuya Taguchi definitely needs to wrangle things in, but I do like how deep Hall got through the first part of the first outside zone. Needs to add a little bit more angle in to get out of it correctly. Gets through the second outside zone. Third looks great. Second could have been a little bit deeper through there, but Kazuya looks like he got choked up just a little bit with the amount of angle that Taylor Hall was able to put transitioning from outside zone 3 to that inside clip. So yeah, you can see that separation as they come through here, and Kazuya having to make a couple of sacrifices in order to get through. But Taylor, I mean, most of this run looks great. Second part of the first outside zone could have been a little bit deeper, could have held it through the second outside zone a little bit longer. So there is some room there for Kazuya to come in and play a little bit harder.
Right, yeah, it didn't seem like the Kazuya we've seen previously. Maybe the bank, maybe intimidated, I don't know.
Yeah, he's normally a very aggressive chaser, so it might be a little bit more of a spotter saying, hey, just calm down. We're going to do something wild in the lead.
There you go.
And it'll all come together.
Right, yep. Maybe force an error here from Taylor Hull, but Taylor was locked and loaded. Let's see how aggressive he is in the chase position, and he might have a tempered approach similar to Kazuya Taguchi. Taguchi up front, initiates, boom. See Taylor kind of rolling into that initiation, and look, I mean, good proximity. Could be deeper there by Taylor Hull, but Kazuya, minimal corrections with those front wheels into that third outside zone. Deep, real deep. Big angle there. Now transition that last outside zone. Taylor Hull, I mean, that was, I think, a really good approach by Taylor Hull. The fans erupt here in Seattle. Your thoughts?
Two very, very different approaches to their leads. I mean, a very Japanese style and a very American style to both leads. So Kazuya gets right up to the wall almost immediately. Now Taylor having to add a bit more speed to the car to get back into the pocket, and then starts to follow in suit through the last half of the first outside zone. Now Kazuya kind of hits it and quits. It could have been a little bit longer there, but so much angle through the third outside zone and leads it nice and wide through the inside clip. And then the fourth outside zone, everything looks good. So the only error that I really saw from Taylor Hall was this first part of the zone. Would like to see him in a little bit closer, but as you can see after saying that, he's doing it. And then just the transition at the third outside zone. I mean, he cut it too soon. Really, really cut the line, completely missed that zone to keep the proximity up. But Kazuya Taguchi is able to throw so much angle and keep that car going. It's wild. So really tough. I mean, this is definitely a battle of two very different styles of driving the exact same track.
American, Japanese, like you said, just two very different styles, very American build, Japanese build. Jerry Yang, and a very accomplished builder, Nissan Master Tech. So, all right, our fans out here in Seattle, staying cool. Definitely some warm temps out here. Let's take a look here at our BC Racing side-by-side. What stands out to you, Jacob?
Yeah, so whenever we get these, I try to take a look and see if there's anything in the lead that stands out for sure. But, I mean, the proximity of Taylor Hall is much better through the first outside zone while he's chasing, because the leads are pretty similar. So it comes down to, like, these big mistakes that we would have seen. Second outside zone, close. Third, I mean, there is mistakes from both drivers. I do think that there is some proximity that could have been gained from both drivers. I mean, it's tough. Yeah, there's mistakes from both sides. There's really nothing definitive that isn't, juxtaposed by another section of the track. So really, really tough judging call on this one.
Yeah, gets interesting here. Let's see. Again, Jacob walking us through there. It's going to be a packed house here. Our judges.
It's already a packed house here.
Yeah, it's filling up. It's warm, but it's going to get even hotter. Slide him left for Taylor Hull, right for Kazuya Taguchi. Got it one more time. Kazuya Taguchi, and one more time. Going at it again. Would love to talk to Robbie Nishida. Robbie Nishida, throw on your headset there, Mr. Nishida. You with one more time, and what is forcing you to go one more time?
I think one of the judges, I think Brian went with Taguchi, and I think he picked up that outside zone 1 area, the bank area. He did a great job in the lead position, which counts a lot. But me and Reese probably looked at it overall, and they both made mistakes here and there in the chase position and the lead position. 2 tires off in the chase for Hull, a little bit lower on the bank in the lead. Taguchi did a better job in the lead at the outside zone 1 area, but the rest of it, everything kind of fell apart. Wasn't smooth and clean, so we went with the one more time.
Real quick, Robbie, did Taguchi get off the line properly? I know that was something that you guys brought up.
Yeah, we
in
brought
the
up
drivers'
at the
meeting.
second drivers meeting about the run-up, and it didn't look like it was, what we were expecting it to be, but it wasn't to the point where it really messed up the chase car, so we're pretty much letting that slide, I guess.
Okay. All right, thank you for clarification there. So forcing one more time, and we're really trying to minimize the one more times. Not rewarding like both bad runs. This is I think absolutely warranted for one more time. Here we go. Frederick Osbo, Kyle the Menace Mohan. Frederick Osbo currently second in points. Heading down into the chute. Good initiation by Osbo. Sugar-free sucker. He's running that sugar-free livery here, that Rockstar energy drink. Toyota GR Supra. I mean, look at him maxing it out. Mohan dives in on that third outside zone. Just quite a bit of distance from him. Gets aggressive, but I don't think that's going to be enough as Osbo powers through. Well done. Excuse me. Freddie currently in third. My bad. Odi Bakshi's currently in second. Thank you.
Yeah, what's been really neat to see is Frederick Osbo over the years has been very calculated, and this year especially, he's throwing so much more angle at things and trying to get a bit more wild and maybe even just have more fun with his driving, and it's really showing in the efforts. So stable through that first outside zone, and then adds in that bit of angle. Could have been a bit deeper through the second outside zone, but he's carrying a ton of speed and then scrubs it all in the third. Now Kyle Mohan does a really good job back there considering how fast that Rockstar Supra is. It is absolutely nuts. But yeah, wow. Okay. Dylan Hughes here. So are we, I wonder if we're indicating there's a broken axle.
It broke.
Bummer.
And one part. So yeah, swapping things around. I mean, Kyle Mohan's had a couple of really, really outstanding runs here in practice. He's had a few that he struggled with. I mean, it looks like he's trying different techniques, different things. The hard part is this car does not make a ton of torque. Being a rotary, you can't low-end grunt through the track. You have to keep it in the rev range. It is one of the loudest cars that are here, that's for sure. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what he's able to do when it comes to this section.
All right, let's see what's going on here as now Kyle Mohan is leading and Frederick Osbo giving chase. Let's look at Freddie. I mean, 3-time champ. Mohan, absolute, rotary ledge. Oh, and Mohan goes off. The renewable lubricants. Mazda Tricks RX-8 looks like shuts it down. And unfortunate for Mohan, but that's going to be a victory for Frederick Osbo. Looks like he's rolling over there. Make sure he's okay. Let's take a look at it again. What went wrong?
I mean, hard to say right off the bat, but Freddie diving in really quick, and then took a little bit for Mohan really to get the car at angle. But he does a really good job for that first outside zone. Could have had a bit more angle. It slows down so much through there. So Freddie able to get the car checked up just in time without causing any massive issues. But I do want to shout out Kyle Mohan here. First part of that zone took a little bit, but once he got the car settled, the rest of that first outside zone looked really good. And then you see a slowing right here, and then has to pull the car out of angle. Freddie doing an amazing job of not absolutely decimating the rear end of that car.
That could have been really bad. So unfortunate for Mohan, he shuts it down. But Frederick Osbo, the chiseled jaw, looking like stone, gets the win. He advances on. Lorette Nickel, who you got with you?
I wanted to get a word from our hometown hero. Unfortunately, Dylan, some tough luck.
Yeah, I mean, that's why they call it racing and not winning. So I had a decent lead, felt pretty good, and then we flicked it in behind him, and immediately I didn't hit the handbrake or anything. I just gave the clutch a good whop, and then immediately I've broken plenty of axles in my day, and the axle let go, so I'm just one-wheel drive on the bank, and of course he's just rolling me. And I knew exactly what it was immediately, so I reached out and I'm on the radio, still on the bank, yep, broken axle. So, that's a double-edged sport the double-edged sword of this sport. It's so unbelievably cutthroat. If you have a mechanical, picture if I did one more lap in practice, that probably would have broken practice and we'd be out there jamming right now. But, it's just an unbelievably cutthroat sport. So I apologize to everybody who came out, and thank you for all the support and family and friends and everything. But today wasn't our day. So, it is what it is. But man, I'm so gutted. So best of luck to all the other competitors, and we'll see you guys in Utah.
Well, the fans love you here, Dylan. A lot of people pulling for you, and you could just feel it. Gutted. A lot of people pulling for Dylan Hughes here. This is his home track. He's had great success here, Evergreen Drift and everything. So it's a bummer, but as he said, and we were just talking while he's doing the interview, everybody's tuned up, dude. It's like this season, everybody's at 110, dude, meaning like percent. So it's very impressive. But
we're at a point where the sport has progressed the mechanical ability.
Absolutely. Here we go. RCP, Rome Charpentier, and we are talking about Trenton Beecham. Whoa! RCP in the garageistic BMW comes out of drift. This is, again, another uncharacteristic run here by Rome. Trenton, that might have been, to be honest, I don't think he meant to give himself that much room, but it might have paid off because Rome is just kind of on his own trip right now. On that last outside zone goes RCP. I mean, he was not high on the bank. Trenton, like I said, this might have worked out for Trenton's benefit being back so far.
Yeah, so something strange happened with Rome's car. Tons of angle there, and that was it. Now, I mean, Rome just trying to figure out what happened there, but Beecham able to get things dialed in, starts to make up the ground because that first outside zone was basically a wash there for Rome, who does do a good job through the second and third outside zone. Inside clips both look nice, and then that transition there from Beecham, very controlled and calculated, but the first outside zone, the initiation from Rome, looks like he almost over-rotated to start with, and then that was all she wrote at that point.
Let's see what we got here. Throwing the cameras on for our production. Trenton Beecham will be leading RCP and the other BMW. Again, two very calculated vehicles. Again, the BMW is making a wild advancement here
so many BMWs.
Both Pro and Pro Spec. What's that?
I said so many BMWs. I was bugging Sopa earlier. You know, when are we going to see more Mustangs?
BMWs are hard to beat, man. Again, they're all over the world. Here we go. Trent Beecham initiates, goes across the nose of RCP, and I feel like Trent is given a better opportunity here. And Rome absolutely reaps the rewards of a great lead run here of Trent Beecham into that third outside zone. Beecham going for it, dialed on that inside clip, last outside zone four. So Trent might have choked up a little bit, but Rome, let's see. Let's look at different angles. Angles, baby.
Just when you thought this was all dialed and all sorted and, you know, you could check off who was going to take the win, things get a little bit strange in outside zone 4. So Beecham off the line, everything looks good. Good feint initiation. Gets the car flicked out, starts to fill the first outside zone. Rome doing a really good job of mirroring. Really, like that right there, that small section of track was basically textbook there from Rome in the chase. Trent does a good job through the second outside zone, misses the majority of the third. Now to the inside clip, it looks good, and Trenton looks like he's just about to over-rotate and park it in. And then Rome isn't able to chase the rest of that run, so does it become a point of an unchaseable lead there from Trenton Beecham out front? Because that just got weird, it got wild. Beecham just throwing so much angle and so much caution to the wind to that part. So everything else, you know, looks really dialed. Like I said, could have been better to outside zone 3, inside clip, and then starts to over-rotate. And Rome goes in and has to pull out a drift. So I think what this becomes is unchaseable runs at this point. Could you chase what Beecham put down there through the fourth outside zone?
All right.
They'd never make it easy.
No.
I mean, it's easy for us. We just have to talk about it.
Yeah.
But for the judges,
it's hats off. Vernon's not here at this event, but Robin Ishida, Reese Marin, new addition to the Formula Drift judging panel, and of course, OG, Mr. Brian Eggert.
We got some fan judging going on here. Someone brought a whiteboard. We need to check those at the gate.
Yeah, we got
whiteboards are dangerous.
One boy's saying one more time.
Yeah.
All right. What's the whiteboard say? What are we saying here? All right, one. Okay, a lot of people claim one more time here.
Interesting.
According to old Staples.
So let's see. What is the bigger issue between the leads of these drivers? So Rome over-rotating there, but Beecham is able to chase it. But Rome essentially missing. I would hesitate to say he missed the entire first outside zone. Beecham is able to chase that, has to stay much further back. Now the rest of Rome's run looks really good, whereas Beecham had 2 mistakes, which is the third outside zone, and then this over-rotation missing the fourth outside zone. So the comparison now is the large mistake of Rome missing all of the first, which is kind of half the track, but then Beecham missed 2 outside zones, which is kind of the other half of the track. So real tough.
But again, Rome, you know, on that lead run had some major mistakes. I think Trenton gave Rome a bigger opportunity to have a better chase run if you're not given that opportunity, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, chases being equal, that both of them had large mistakes that are hard to chase, and then, what is the bigger mistake collectively between the leads and chases? So, tough go. Look at how bad the cars are.
All right, battered bruise. Who's moving on? RCP. We got a one more time. They're going at it again. All right. Well, Lorette Nichols with the rising young star, Brandon Sorensen.
Well, we saw Brandon take that win. He said he felt lucky. You have a few things to clean up. So what were some of the biggest obstacles?
You know, driving behind Higa, he laid down a really solid lead run, but he decelled a little bit more than I was anticipating through outside zone 2, which kind of put me in a really bad smoke pocket. So transitioning across the track just on a prayer, hoping I'd pop out of the smoke in the right spot. But, you know, the lead run, I felt super solid. If I could just keep that up for the rest of the night and, you know, just nitpick here and there in the chase. And, you know, I think we could probably go all the way.
Brandon has a great plan moving forward, and we're excited in top 16, guys.
All right, move it. Thank you so much, Lorette Nickel. Advancing on or going back to the one more time. Taylor Hull, Kazuya Taguchi. That was it wasn't unanimous like we just saw there. The one more time between RCP, Rome Charpentier, and Trenton Beecham. So now we're seeing Taylor Hull and Kazuya Taguchi, OMT. Kind of a slow roll there out of the gates. Taylor Hull initiates that Tom Cam's Corvette, rolls into it. Kazuya Taguchi keeps it back. Ooh, Taylor kind of comes out of drift on that bank right before he transitions into the power alley. Buddy, that's not where you want to be. So that's going to be a huge mistake there for Taylor Hull, and he's going to need to see Kazuya Taguchi have a mistake, and don't believe he's used his competition timeout.
No, I don't believe so.
Don't know what happened.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if there was any indication of bigger problems, and we already saw one broken axle. Could this be a case of another one? I'm seeing smoking on both sides, just really struggling. So, but then tries to drift to the left, and then our outside wheel just stops turning. So, I mean, it's possible, but there's so many things it could be. But, oh, man, just gutted for Taylor Hall.
Yeah, is that what happened? I didn't read his whole post, but he said sleepless in Seattle, so they were up all night working on something?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. So, I mean, so many of these teams, you think you got everything dialed, and then you spend so much time once the track goes cold fixing and checking and tuning. And, I mean, these teams work so incredibly hard.
All right, well, as Taylor Hull does call his competition timeout, as we anticipated, if you have not already, you need a Formula Drift Universal Performance Steering Wheel Cover. Time to elevate your driving experience with the Type S FD Universal Performance Steering Wheel Cover, specifically designed for enthusiasts seeking enhanced grip and control on the road. Crafted from high-quality, durable materials, the Universal Performance Steering Wheel Cover offers a comfortable, cushioned, and ergonomic fit. Whether you're hitting the track or cruising the streets, this cover delivers for your every driving need.
That was nice.
Thanks.
It was well done, sir.
Thank you. I tried.
Yeah.
I tried so hard, but in the end, it doesn't really matter.
Because I'm going to buy one either way.
We're going to put them on rental cars. All right, welcome out to round 6 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. The battles continue. Here, the battle in Seattle. Where are my Adam LZ fans at? Make some noise. Where are my Robert Thorne fans at? Make some noise. Oh, man, obviously the needle goes the way of Adam LZ. The things that this team has done in 2 weeks, right, is insane. Rit off, totaled the car, bing, bong, boom in St. Louis. Thought he was out. Sleepless in Seattle, or sleepless in Florida is more like it, because they prepared the car. This is a brand new chassis. Hats off to LZ Manufacturing, Drift HQ, Adam LZ putting the car together. But guess what? Robert Thorne was on it. Pin it to win it. Let's see what you got. Adam LZ and Robert Thorne. Adam LZ initiates the Drift HQ, BMW. You can see those TE37s coming to, and Thorne makes a major mistake in the chase position. Talk about how locked and loaded it is, but look at this. This is all new. Build is looking dialed. You know, you got to think, here's Thorne, who's had 5 previous rounds in a car. His car's still together. LZ's got this, like, tight and right, nutted and bolted, the whole thing. Boom. LZ delivers for the kids. It's all for the kids.
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, it might have been a copy-paste of the car that was there before, but every car, no matter how well you build, it's going to be different, and Adam has adapted this so quick. And Robert Thorne just struggling a little bit through there. I love the amount of extra angle that Adam throws in to get to that set of outside zones, able to follow everything through. But yeah, Robert Thorne was able to correct his mistake and then keep everything kind of dialed through the rest of it. Adam going a little bit wide there over our impromptu jump, so yeah, wow.
Man, LZ has had one heck of a season. Again, I don't know if are there any Adam LZ fans out there? Stomp your feet if you're an Adam LZ fan. Yo, earthquakes for Adam LZ. Robert Thorne, he's got to step it up here in that lead position. He is absolutely dialed.
If there's anybody who can, though, it is Robert Thorne. He just eats pressure for breakfast. Like,
is that how he stays fit?
He is so fit. Just a diet of pressure, stress and pressure. Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. Here we go. Robert Thorne, Metagard Racing, ASM, into that first outside zone. This is what we saw yesterday, Jacob. Look at this. I mean, absolutely dialed. Love it. He is just precision. Adam LZ jumps out of the smoke. And he keeps it breezy. Easy, breezy, beautiful. Adam LZ in that Drift HQ BMW. So make some noise. Adam LZ, Robert Thorne.
Real interesting.
Yeah?
Real interesting.
What's interesting?
Obviously, Robert Thorne had a pretty decent mistake there in the chase, but Adam not super in the game here.
Right.
I mean, look at Thorne out front. That is a solid first outside zone, and Adam just trying to keep up at this point.
Right.
Second outside zone from Thorne looks great. Third outside zone could have been a little bit deeper. Adam having to cut some line there. Come through the inside clip, transitioning out. Adam gets caught up a little bit, but then both of them do a good job through the fourth outside zone. So it does kind of come down to that first outside zone and what happens there, at least in my mind. What mistake was bigger?
Here we go. Slide of left for Adam LZ, right for Robert Thorne, and Adam LZ gets the win. Adam LZ, after a crazy couple weeks getting that car back together, knocks out a Prospect champion of Robert Thorne, and LZ gets the win. Congratulations to him.
Yeah, that's got to feel very valid.
Oh, yeah. He's like, sweet,
back
I'm in.
Florida. Yeah, wow, and take a look at this bracket as it starts to build up. Now we've still got a few more battles that we've got to come back to, but both left and right side of this bracket is going to be very interesting. That Manoa Jonathan Hurst one has got me excited. You got a very aggressive driver in Jonathan Hurst.
Hero's like, I don't know what to do with this dude.
He's, yeah. Hurst is going to show him. There's going to be reflective wrap all over the side of Manoa's car.
It's going to be bonkers.
Yeah, and yeah, we're going to come back to a few battles to figure out the rest. Is Robert Thorne in that ASM BMW heading back to the pits. Nothing to shake his head at because that was a great battle from both of them.
Yeah, just that mistake in the chase by Thorne, that was what really solidified in my mind. And, you know, just looking over the judges, they agree as well. So we do have the second half of the Hull and Taguchi battle. Remember, Hull pulled off, so he's at a deficit. RCP and Trenton Beecham, but Ken Gucci, Dan Burkett. Ken Gucci, the OG, look at this. Over the last few years, they've only had one battle together, and Ken Gucci got him. Gucci jumping up with a 2J under the hood. Dan Burkett, of course, got the 2J on the hood of the Mark IV Supra.
Ooh, what a stagger here from Rad Dan.
You got to pull the line. You got to pull the line. Last event, we had some kerfuffles, as I like to say.
Yeah. So there was some conversations about it this morning in the secondary drivers meeting about this, and
really,
we'll see if that all gets changed up. But yeah, I mean, it's should the chase driver, you know, be able to give as much space to get that run up, but looks like he closed that gap anyways.
Yep. There we go. All right. So Ken Gucci, Dan Burkett. Gucci out front in that Ready Bodies Toyota GR86. Good initiation from him. And look at Dan Burkett. This is a good textbook battle. And kind of diving down a little bit is Burkett into the power alley, transitioning. Ooh, you saw Burkett being aggressive. And now past that inside clip into that last outside zone. Gucci, really good angle, looked very smooth, not real twitchy. Seemed like Burkett had a little bit of panic in his driving style. What do you think?
Yeah, so Gucci's first outside zone really sets Dan up for success here and is able to allow both drivers to look really dialed through this section. And the part that I was looking at is right here from Gucci, goes really deep through that, but has to left foot brake really hard and misses the second outside zone, which gives Dan a bit of an opportunity to close the gap through there. He's doing a good job, center punches that inside clip, really pushing the pace of Ken Gucci out front. So Ken, not perfect out in the lead, does a really good job through the first outside zone, but a bit of a correction to make him shallow, I guess, really, and not nearly as deep, not enough angle through the second outside zone. And then Dan had to cut some line to catch back up, because when the lead driver goes that shallow, you're going to be behind them.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and he was right there. It got a little sketchy there on outside zone 3.
Yeah.
In that power alley. So now Dan Burkett will lead. Ken Gucci chasing him down. Here comes Rad Dan, bullet in one. Ken Gucci taking a little bit of a lower line, but again, that compromisation, as you said, kind of compromising, getting deeper, getting that back end into that outside zone. Now coming into that power alley. Now switch is back in outside zone 3. Really well done there from Burkett. And Gucci, again, just really smooth. This is the Gucci of yesteryear, and it seemed that he's found that secret sauce, man. Like you said, just looming in the shadows. Gucci, is I don't think he's got a championship hunt, but he's sitting in 9th.
Yeah, he's doing a great job now. Dan could have been deeper through the majority of this first outside zone, but he's very stable. The car sits well. You see that left foot brake. As soon as it comes off, the car adds a bit more angle in. Does a much better job through the second outside zone than Ken did previously. And then through the rest of this run, Dan is just very smooth. It's very tidy, fills all the zones, which does allow Ken to be able to chase quite well. So a couple of mistakes from both. I'm really happy to see the way that Dan has been able to get everything smoothed out and dialed, and it's just really nice to see that he's shaking off some of the cobwebs from taking that year off.
Adam LZ looking all chipper, literally eating chips, maybe. Chips on chips, bro. You happen to have a bucket or a hose broom, feeling quite parched. All right, here we go. Let's take a look at our BC Racing side-by-side. BC Racing official suspension of Formula Drift.
All right, initiation. So first outside zone, Dan and Ken both pretty similar, but Dan's got a better chase there through that zone. Now Dan starts to come off the wall a little bit earlier on his lead. Second outside zone, we talked about it. Dan doing a much better job. Third outside zone, pretty comparable between both runs. And then transitioning into 4, Dan dives in a little bit more, but Ken maybe a bit more stable. So yeah, it's really coming down. We're splitting hairs here to a couple of fine points to be able to decide a winner, but I love to see the progression of both these drivers. Dan's really coming into his own. Ken just super consistent and stable, and that's what allowed him to climb up the ranks the way he has.
Party out back, that's what it says on the wing, and that's why homeboy rocks a mullet. Let's see who's advancing on, Gucci or Burkett. We will be going back to the second half of the Hull to Gucci battle. There we are, looking in the hurt lock. Here we go, sliding left for Gucci, right for Dan Burkett. Looks like we got a one more time and a Dan Burkett vote, and Dan Burkett gets the win. Dan Burkett gets the victory.
It's definitely gonna be a party out back now.
Yeah, absolutely. So Burkett advances on. He will be going against Adam LZ in the top 16.
Battle of Florida, East and West Coast Florida. Yeah.
Dan's originally from this area here in the Pacific Northwest. So yeah, but now Florida man's like somebody
100%.
else I know.
Yeah, very much.
Gator boys.
Yeah.
It's a Gator grapple. This second half of this battle, if you can recall, Taylor Hull went off course, finding out from his spotter and his lovely wife. She says that he blew a blower belt. So alternator problem, so he called competition timeout. So obviously supercharger, you're gonna lose power, boom, bing bong boom, lose power. And does not get another competition timeout, one and done, but he is at a major deficit. He's going to try to force Kazuya Taguchi to have a mistake, but Kazuya with a major advantage. If he just keeps it clean, keeps it clinical, doesn't do anything crazy, he's going to get this victory here. Taylor Hull Unfortunately, in that comp cams, Corvette is falling back once again and had that issue, shutting her down, and this is going to be all Kazuya Taguchi, unfortunately for Taylor Hull, but Kazuya will be getting the win. Again, shutting it down. Taylor was out front, didn't complete his first lead run.
I really like how wide Kazuya goes between 3 to the inside clip, and we'll get to it here in the replay. It's just a really interesting way to go about this. I mean, is it too much? Is it not enough? Who am I to say? But yeah, I mean, Taylor Hall basically had to lay down an absolute perfect chase run here to even have a shot at it with the incomplete that he had previously. This is what I'm talking about. Look at all the angle. Look how wide out he's pushing that. Scoops back in, and it really does set him up quite well for outside zone 4. So very flowy, very smooth. Anybody who's going up against Kazuya Taguchi next, which is going to be Alec Robbins, definitely be taking note of that.
Yes, sir. All right, so this will unofficially slide the way of Kazuya Taguchi, and one more battle left. It's a one more time of RCP and Trenton Beecham. Rome Sharp and Tier, Garagistic BMW against the Clonex BMW of Beecham. So let's make it official. Slide him left for Hull or right for Taguchi, and there it is. Kazuya Taguchi gets the victory. And Lorette Nickel, how does Adam feel about going against Dan in the top 16?
Well, you'll go against Dan Burkett, but you guys remember the last time I talked to LZ was in St. Louis, and he said he was done for the season, but we're so glad to have you back. Talk about that transition to get here today.
Yeah, I'm super happy to be back here. I missed this track last year. It's one of my favorites. It really was the end of the season in St. Louis, and when we got back, the goal was to build another car and show up at Irwindale. It was, you know, Irwindale's the big final event to be able to go there and drive with everyone. But it just so happened that a buddy of mine, Joel, who is our media guy over at Drift HQ, he had a caged shell sitting right in his front yard and was like, you know what? If you want it, I'll sell you this. So the team kind of got together and they were down to make magic happen. And I sold some shirts, which I had overwhelming support from my audience to kind of help the rebuild costs. And the team, literally while I was in Riga competing in Drift Masters, built this entire car. This is my first time driving it here. I never even did a test lap in it. Sean, one of my crew guys here, he tested it for me. I was like, it's good to go. So I showed up here, first laps in a whole new car, and yeah, thanks to the overwhelming support, we're gonna finish the whole season, which I'm very excited about.
We're very excited about that too. Adam, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Smile says it all. The fuzzy lip, eating carrot, crushing BMW E36 slaying, and his smile says it all. Here we go. Let's go back to the action. Here is the one more time battle. Rome Sharp and Tier and Trenton Beecham. All right, looks like RCP looking a lot more dialed than that first run. You know, he had some issues in that first battle. See, oh man, he does exceed that line. Looked like a tire off, so that won't be an incomplete, but that's definitely gonna hurt him a little bit. Now into that last outside zone. Both the Beamers go.
Yeah, much better run there from Rome. I mean, we saw in his previous run he over-rotated on initiation, and that is not the case here. So comes off the line quite well. Beecham doing a good job to mirror him through that first outside zone. He actually pulls out a little bit of angle, so probably a little bit hesitant through that first part, making sure that nothing goes crazy. Beecham taking a much tighter line through there, and then Rome really pushing out wide for the second outside zone. And then shallow through the third outside zone because of the line that puts him on. And Beecham does a good job. I mean, he's not overly aggressive. He does mimic the line to the best of his ability, but he's not going overly aggressive, shooting off track, diving. So very smooth, a very calculated chase run there from Trenton Beecham, while Rome able to clean things up, going just barely 2 tires off. So at this round, it is 3 tires off. It's an incomplete.
Yep.
So he's still okay.
And there we are, re-racking them. This is our final battle of 32. So if you're here in the building, be sure to stop on by the K&N booth. 315 will be giving away a signed helmet. And be sure to stop by the Type S booth. Myself and Larry Chen and Mike Powell will be there at 3:30. Here we go. Trenton Beecham. And we are looking at RCP. Trenton Beecham, man. Look at this, that next entire Clonex BMW. Good transition, really clean, good angle overall. Look at this, I mean, Trenton Beecham out front is really really showing up.
Yeah.
That was a solid run by Trenton Beecham. I don't mean to act surprised, but sometimes I feel like he surprises himself too. Just talking to him, he's like, "Yo, we did it!" Like that's what's up. That was a great run from Beecham.
If you've been a long-time FD fan, you might remember when Beecham was in Pro 2 and an absolute menace to every driver. It was, I at the time was working for a team that had to compete against him, and he was a very difficult driver to go against because of stuff like this. Very consistent. You know he's going to fill the zones and absolutely crushes that first outside zone. Has to add a little bit more angle in there at the end. But Rome in the chase does a good job mirroring the entire time, filling the same portions of the zone, while Beecham through that inside clip and now transitioning out to our fourth outside zone. Both drivers do a great job. I mean, I'm not that I want to be here all day, but another one more time I'm not going to be mad about. So really love to see how both these drivers are able to step their game up and push a little bit harder.
There we go. Slide him left for Rome, right for Trenton Beecham. It looks like Trenton Beecham takes out RCP. And I agree with that call. You know, Rome is a fierce competitor. It didn't look like the Rome we've seen of previous events or, previous years. So unfortunately, RCP is knocked out, Trenton Beecham. So our top 16 is locked and loaded. There's our top 16 that we'll be seeing after our halftime break. So cruise the pits, have a good time. The Royal Purple Top 16, the official engine oil of Formula Drift. James Dean, notably. Odie Bakshis, our top 3 are in there. Talking about Odie, talking about Osbo. So the championship up still for grabs. Jacob, 32.
Yeah, I'm
locked
ready.
and loaded.
I'm ready.
Now in the 16.
I might just stay in the booth and wait for it to happen.
I'm not.
I don't need lunch.
Okay, you're good. Do you eat pressure as well?
No,
Okay.
no, not even a little.
Eat pressure for breakfast or lunch or anything? Hey, thank you so much for joining us here, either online or in the building. On behalf of Jacob Gettins, of course, Lorette Nickel, and our whole team, we'll be back here at 4:45 local time. That's about 3 hours. So you got some time. Cruise the pits, high fives, handshakes, grab a drink, grab a Rockstar. Let's have a good time. We'll see you back here, 4:45. On behalf of the whole team, I'm Jared Deenda. Send it. We'll be back here in just about 3 hours.
Never go slow on the rock like a rhino. Like Rondo, never stop on the cover. You gotta be pronto. Your friends like Colombo. You be the judge like Rondo.